Woo! Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Now, I don't show my face on YouTube, but we got our sunglasses on. We got our swag on because once again, the Gamecocks show Mark Stoops in Kentucky. It's culture over climate always. Oh man, South Carolina dominates Kentucky 35-13. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We needed that one. And we needed that one bad. This is a game we needed to win. Because, the schedule coming up after this, we got a bye week now upcoming, but the schedule we have coming up next, October's a murderer's row per usual, y'all. You got LSU and Death Valley, which I will say, I do think is a winnable game. LSU, that might be tough, but they got some serious problems themselves. I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I really don't think that's an impossible task, but and then you got Oklahoma. I know they're without Mateer and everything for about a month. You got Alabama coming in, who beat Georgia again, by the way, like they've been doing since the dinosaurs were on Earth. But man, this was a good win, y'all. This was a good win. I'm going to celebrate every moment of this. Let's see who's all in here. We got Gamecock Chuck. What's up, Gamecock Chuck? Great stream, by the way, tonight, brother. You and Dillmaker crushed it per usual. And I'm glad to see your channel blowing up, buddy. You deserve it. You work extremely hard. Both of you work extremely hard for what you do, and I really appreciate it. And I cannot wait to jump on y'all's stream on Monday night and celebrate this one with you. I truly can't. I mean, I'm giddy right now. And look, I will say this. We still got a lot of things to clear up. By no means was this a perfect game. But we'll take this, man. I mean, we'll take this. We will absolutely take this. We will. What's up, Zanino? What's up, Andrew, the textbook? Andrew, you were at the game, weren't you? Tell us how that was, sir. Oh, but man, we're gonna have a guest for Monday night. I can't wait. But man, we needed this. Well, I mean, we needed this bad, especially because it was a brutal last couple weeks. And no, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that all of our problems have magically gone away just because we won this game and dominated Kentucky. But we all knew if we had lost this game tonight, it would have been catastrophic for this season. It cannot be understated enough, in my opinion, how important it was to get this win, to get yourself a little bit of momentum going into the bye week, and then preparing for what's going to be a brutal October. I mean, the schedule from here on out is pretty brutal, y'all. It truly is. And to get this win, it was huge. And it was huge to beat them the way you did, too. Because South Carolina, it was an ugly first quarter. Kentucky scores first. Yeah, I'm going to rain on this for a second, too. There are some great Kentucky fans, I know. There are. And there are some good people in Kentucky. So I'm not going to frame them all as if they're bad. But a Kentucky player to throw a football at a fan. And it turns out, y'all, it wasn't just a fan. That was Lenore Sellers' grandfather. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he knew that was Lenore Sellers' grandfather or anything, but still, Kentucky scores first. And then the guy, the douchebag, decides to throw the football at a fan in a wheelchair. That was classless and dirty. Classless and dirty. And y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you deserve what you got tonight. You did. You deserve what you got tonight. You want to be dirty. You want to be classless. Well, there you go. You get your asses beat. You get your asses beat. That's what happened, man. What's up, crazy weather dude? Alabama never trolled. What's that? Trailed to Georgia, South Carolina wins. Great Saturday, yes sir, brother. Yes sir. You know what's awesome, crazy weather dude? I can always count on you guys to come through and beat Georgia. I can always count on you guys. I really can. Yeah, that was a big win for Alabama, man. It truly was. I will say this. I think everyone gave up on Alabama too early, man. Truly. And I know Florida State did what they did on Friday night, lost to Virginia. I don't know. I do think Virginia's a solid football team. I think they're better this year than they've been. But Florida State, again, I think people gave up on Alabama too soon. We can go into the superstitions of everything, but it seems like every time, Alabama goes up against Kirby Smart, it don't matter who the head coach is, y'all. They get out schemed and out coached every single time. Kirby got one in a national title game back in 2021, but outside of that, it's been a complete domination. But anyways, we're here to talk about South Carolina versus Kentucky, which was also a domination. Let me tell you some things I really liked. Number one, the defense. And again, was it perfect? No. But it really came through tonight in a big way. It came through in a big way. 2 turnovers for touchdowns. And it was within, I think 3 or 4 plays. You had Gear, who, by the way, I like what we saw from Gear tonight. Dylan Stewart playing well, by the way. Gerald Kilgore doing his things. The defense looked a lot better tonight. It did. You were able to get after the quarterback, which, man, let me tell you guys something. Cutter Boley. I have heard all week long from Kentucky fans how this guy was the truth. He's a future NFL talent. He's going to light it up against South Carolina. Cutter Boley, this guy coming in, he's going to be fantastic. Turns out, like Kentucky, he just sucks. I mean, truly. This guy is not good, bro. This guy is not good. He's not good. He's not good. 2 interceptions by Cutter Boley. And I will say this too. South Carolina's defense, we continue to talk about the defense real quick. How about this one, y'all? 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers by the South Carolina defense. 4 turnovers. I mean, it was... What? That was on. That was on. All right, well, you guys can still hear me apparently, but for whatever reason, StreamYard just kicked me off. I don't know what just happened, but It sent me to your computer home screen. It sent me to my computer home screen. Well, let me get back in real quick. But anyways, we'll continue this since you guys can still hear me and everything's working pretty well too. Let's see here. Let's see something. By the way, 6 sacks tonight by the South Carolina defense. By the way, 6 sacks. 6. All right, we're back. I don't know what that was about, y'all. I'm sorry. I guess some Kentucky fan got mad and decided to kick me out and everything. Yep, we're back. Some Kentucky fan was mad because his team just can't beat South Carolina. Yeah, Kentucky down bad tonight, aren't they? Yeah, Kentucky down real bad. Mark Stoops is too. How many years in a row is this now? 4 in a row against Kentucky? 4 in a row? Mark Stoops wants to make some comment a few years back about Shane Beamer, stupid sunglasses and dancing, climate over culture, all that stuff. He hasn't beaten South Carolina since. He hasn't. And let me tell you something, too. Kentucky's in for a very long year. Now, I don't know how the rest of this season is going to play out for South Carolina. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, we're back and we're winning out now just because we won tonight. Because, again, guys, our offensive line is still pretty bad. We still got a lot of issues to fix up. We still got things with penalties. We still got some issues, man. But I will say this. To win like this, it was nice. And, again, I'm going to read some statistics and everything. But this is a celebratory stream as well. This is one to celebrate because, we needed this. We needed this. We absolutely needed this. And we criticized the defense over the last couple of weeks, and rightfully so, because they played really bad. But, tonight, 6 sacks, 10 tackle for loss, you create, 4 turnovers. They were a big reason why you won this game and why you won the way you did. Truly. And when we talk about this, too, how about Lenora Sellers being Superman and him running the football? 14 carries for 81 yards for Lenora Sellers. How about Matt Fuller, too? How about Matt Fuller? 48 yards. This guy has shown what he can do. Matt Fuller can be a really good football player, y'all. 1 touchdown for him, too. Rasul Fajan with 2 touchdowns. So, a little bit of you got some progress in the running back room a little bit. If this line can block for you better, I think we can see a lot more. But yeah, Lenora Sellers, he put on the Superman cape yet again, and he just what I've been calling for weeks was to see Lenore Sellers run the football, and we saw that tonight. And I hope we see it more going forward. And because this line's got to protect them, they got to give him more opportunities to do things like he did. Dre Jacobs again, 108 yards. I mean, Dre Jacobs is him, y'all. He's him. But yeah, man. Truly, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with how we played. I was critical over the last couple weeks, and rightfully so, because we deserved it. But this is one that you needed badly, and because you won this game, you're going into the bye week with some momentum now. And can South Carolina? So here's the deal: you're at 3 wins now. You're 3-2. LSU is a team that I think can be beat. Can be. It's possible. I'm not picking it or anything, but I'm not really impressed with LSU. I don't think they're really that good. We could say maybe Oklahoma's more winnable now because Matera's out, but the only thing is they still got that top 10 defense. They still got an incredible defense. Alabama, we'll see about them. Hey, by the way, y'all, I still have a gut feeling about that game. No matter how the last couple weeks have gone, I still have a gut feeling about that one. I mean, you got Coastal and you got Clemson. Both of those are obviously winnable. So, LSU's got a great defense, though. But I will say, we'll see what this team can do. But I ain't gonna sit here and tell you guys everything's all great now just because we won this game. But I mean, this was a big one for you. It was a big deal to win this game because had you lost this game, it would have been a catastrophic failure because the schedule coming up is very brutal, to say the least. So hopefully this is one that can build you confidence in everything, and that will be really good. Happy with what we saw tonight. Again, got some things. It wasn't perfect, but my God, I'll take it. We'll take it. I mean, this is a celebratory stream. You beat Kentucky. You beat Mark Stoops again. Again. 4 years in a row over Kentucky. 4 in a row. And I'm extremely happy as well. Especially after, the Kentucky player throwing the football at Sellers' grandfather. Kentucky players all night long really trying to start fights with the Gamecock players, but just dirty. Dirty. You got what you deserved. You got your butts kicked again by Shane Beamer in South Carolina. And here's the bad news for Kentucky, too. You're our permanent opponent. You're our permanent opponent. So, unfortunately for you, Kentucky, you can't avoid these yearly ass kickings by the Gamecocks. You can't avoid it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's going to be more ass kickings to come at the hands of South Carolina. Just is what it is. What's up, Bird? Hopefully, how you doing? I hope I said your name right. Kentucky hates South Carolina because Beamer wore sunglasses. Yeah. And ever since that comment, they haven't beaten him. They haven't beaten him since that comment. What's up, Russ the Lion? I saw in the comments section of the highlights someone said a better win than when Ole Miss played Kentucky, and I hate how true that is. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. The way Kentucky acted tonight says a lot about their culture that Stoops bragged about. Hey, remember, Andrew, climate over culture, according to Mark Stoops, right? Climate over culture. Well, let's see how that's worked out for him. Kentucky's not making a bowl. Kentucky's terrible, y'all. Let's be honest. They're terrible. They're bad. Kentucky's not making a bowl game this year. They're just not. They're not a good team. That Cutter Boley guy is not as good as they try to tell us all week long. He's just not. They had to win this game too, y'all. If they wanted to try to surprise people, because let's be honest, we all, or most of us, already knew it was going to be a long year for Kentucky. We all predicted it. Well, we all saw it coming. But Kentucky was hoping, hey, maybe we could win this game and we can shut up some doubters and say, hey, we can still make something of our season. Here's what I think happens, y'all. And this is what I was thinking coming into this game. I couldn't make a prediction video because I was busy. The winner of this game is going to go on to probably make a bowl game, and the loser isn't. And that's usually, and SEC Network showed a graphic. That's usually how these, games have gone between the two. The winner likely makes a bowl game, and the loser doesn't. And there are opportunities for South Carolina. It's a tough schedule, but there are opportunities. If your defense can play the way they played tonight, if you can create the turnovers, if you can get scooping scores, if you can get what you got tonight, if you can get 6 sacks, then, there are some opportunities coming up for you. We all know about the offensive line and their struggles and everything, and it's got to be better. Of course. What's going on, Rooster? I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to see you, man. And I enjoyed your post-game live, by the way. It's good to see you. Turd cutter toilet bully, you say. Yeah. Yeah, that guy that was supposed to come in here and set the world on fire. They benched Calzada and they put this guy in here, and Kentucky fans, because they beat Eastern Michigan, thought this guy was going to go out here and just, light it up. Dude spent the entire night running for his life. The entire time running for his life. By the way, you all go and subscribe to Rooster, by the way, and go subscribe to Gamecock Chuck. Both of them work very hard. They're fellow Gamecock content creators. I feel like most of y'all, if not all of you, know who they are. But y'all go and sub them up. But, again, I don't think it can be stated enough. We really needed this one. We needed this one. There's no doubt about it. And we'll see what we can do. Because we got the bye week coming up, and we all know the bye week, not an easy game. The bye week is tough. They got a Heisman quarterback. Their defense is like top 5 in the country. I'm not so sure if we can beat the bye week, y'all. Clemson lost to them by like 30,000 points today. But then again, they're Clemson. They're terrible. So, how much do you want to really take out of that? But in all seriousness, we did some things tonight I really liked. It's not perfect, but I will take it because I feel like we saw some growth with the defense. And we saw Lenore Sellers run the football too. We saw him be Superman. We saw him use his legs to extend some plays. And Matt Fuller is someone I got my eye on. Gear is as well. And I'll be honest with you, coming into this game, I was worried how we were going to score. But one of the things I thought was going to happen, or one of the things I was wondering was, can our defense step up tonight? Can our defense step up and make plays? They did just that. They really carried it here, man. They did. Well, they guided you, if nothing else. We held these guys to 232 yards in the game. 232 yards. Now, again, the way that game started in the first quarter, I mean, Kentucky was gashing us. They went right down the field and scored. And again, that player throwing the football at Lenora Sellers' grandfather. By the way, for those of you who are wondering where I got that from, Lenora Sellers in the post-game interview mentioned that. I was watching the Apple TV ESPN app multi-view. I was watching Georgia versus Alabama. Excuse me, and I had Oregon versus. Which, by the way, I took Oregon to win that game. I saw it coming. Penn State, for some reason, just cannot win big games. It's disappointing. I wanted Penn State to win this game. They just can't do it, man. I mean, it's that they're never going to win a national title or do anything of true significance until they can get over that hump. I'm just going to be honest with you. But you know, the defense, Gerald Kilgore, man, 45 yards to the end zone. A strip sack by Dylan Stewart. And Gear went 40 yards for a touchdown. You make plays like that, y'all, and you can win some games. Especially if the offense, if you have one of those days where, you know, the offense isn't doing a lot for you, if your defense can make plays like that, you can win some games. There are opportunities coming up here. They're tough, for sure. But there are some opportunities. But this was big. You know, I still remember. And look, if for those of you who are wondering why I enjoy beating Kentucky so much, now for those of you who don't know, I've been talking about the Gamecocks on YouTube since 2018. My old channel got hacked and deleted, but I've been around here for a long time. A long time. I've been talking about the Gamecocks for 7 years now on YouTube. And Kentucky owned us. I had to make a video about how Kentucky beat us 5 years in a row. You heard from their fans every single year. And after 2021, too, and how awful that game was. Don't even get me started on that one. You had to hear about how, well, you know, we've won 6 of 7 or 7 of 8 and everything. And just Kentucky fans were insufferable as hell. As hell. And that was just a game that almost every year, it's just they had our number. And especially when they had Benny Snell. Especially when they had Benny Snell. Listen, I like the guy's athleticism. But my God, I could not stand going up against Benny Snell, man. Because we could never stop that guy. I mean, every time we had to go up against him, we just knew that this guy's going to run all over us. We just knew. And now we've won 4 straight against them. 4 straight. 2022, we beat them while they were quote unquote, a top 15 team in their house. At the time, they were. And then in 2023, we went 5-7 and still beating them. Now, they weren't great in 2023, but we went 5-7. We were bad in 2023. Now, I still think the team had a better potential than their record that year, but that wasn't a good football team. Still beat them. Last year, smoked them in their house. And if you think about it, y'all, isn't kind of how we beat them this year a little similar to how we did last year? Because we did by defensive touchdowns. We beat them by defensive touch. Our offense wasn't great in that game. They weren't great. They made some plays like they did tonight, but they weren't great. Your defense came through for you in a big way in that one. And they did again tonight. You've won 4 straight against Kentucky, and it feels good because now I ain't got to hear from them anymore. Kentucky fans are kind of coming back to earth because, again, Kentucky's never been great. And, their ceiling, and I hate to say it, it's kind of like ours. Like winning 10 games is pretty much the best they've done ever. Well, I know I don't really think that 1950 national title they have is legitimate. I think they stole that from Oklahoma, but that's irrelevant. I think Stoops stays at Kentucky, or Kentucky. Stoops' years at Kentucky are almost over. Yeah, I think so too, man. I definitely don't know if Mark Stoops makes another year, man, because I'm going to be honest. I expect this season to go down the commode pretty quick for him. Pretty quick. I don't think Billy Napier, I think, is getting fired this year. Sam Pittman, I think for sure, is getting fired. I mean, did anyone see that crap? Arkansas got absolutely blown out. But this was a big win for South Carolina, y'all. We needed this. We needed it. Let me ask you guys this in the comment section. Well, what do you guys think we can do? Because we have a bye week next week. What do you guys think we can do? Because we do have a brutal stretch coming up. Well, let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, we have a brutal stretch coming up. LSU, I think they're beatable, but they got a really good defense. And with some of our line struggles, that's going to be a little tough. Oklahoma, they're likely, in my opinion, still going to be without John Mateer. But can you get them? Can you get them? And the other thing is Oklahoma still has an incredible defense too. And then you got Alabama and Ole Miss coming up. And then, of course, Texas A&M. Yeah, it's still a hard road. But what do you guys think we could do? I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I think there's some opportunities, but I think we're going to have to rely on quite a bit of things for that to happen. Can South Carolina pull an upset? I will say I've had a gut feeling about that Alabama game since the offseason. And it's the same one I had going into the Texas A&M game too, by the way. Last year, I had a gut feeling that we would beat Texas A&M in the offseason of 2024, and we did it. I have that same feeling about Alabama still. And we'd all love to sit here and be 5-0 right now because I feel like a lot of us expected that. My prediction for South Carolina was 9-3 this year, but I was teetering around 8-4. I was. Because, as much as I wanted to buy the hype, I'm a realistic guy. I have to be. 8-4 would be a miracle at this point. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Kentucky hiring Jimbo. Oh, Lord. Jimbo Fisher coming to Kentucky. Holy crap. But, yeah, it's always good to beat Kentucky, man. It's always good. Gamecocks get to wear the sunglasses again. And it's a good night. South Carolina wins. They beat Kentucky again. It's a good night to be a South Carolina Gamecock. And I will say this for all my friends and the people here watching this video who live in the Carolinas, I hope y'all stay safe next week. I hope y'all stay safe. There is a tropical system that's coming now. The good news is it's supposed to remain off the coast, but it's still going to bring some heavy rain and stuff. So it's good to be prepared and everything. And I hope everyone stays safe because even though the models show this storm, trending more off the coast and more east and everything, you can still get some heavy rain from it. So hope everyone stays safe next week, especially, around Florida, the Carolinas, and Georgia and everything. I hope you all stay safe, be prepared, because you never know how things can get with that, even if it's off the shore. Let's see what Rooster says. We get Bama and OU at home, so that helps. But LSU isn't very good either. Yeah, they got a good defense, but I mean, they're offensively. I do think if our defense can play good and do more of the things we saw tonight, you got a chance in that one, man. Now A&M may be tough, maybe a tough one because of Moss. Yeah, A&M will be tough. Now Auburn held them a little bit, though. Auburn held them a little bit. They did. Auburn was tough for them, but A&M, especially going on the road there, we've never won in College Station, so that's that's always going to be tough, man. But if we can battle Reed, we have a chance. I agree. I want to see our defense score safety on someone. I don't care what team it is, but I know our defense is good enough to do it. Yeah, I mean, you got some potential, man. Now, again, I don't think Kentucky's a very good football team. I don't. But give the defense credit because we've been harping on them for 2 weeks now, and they came out here and played a good game. They came out here, again, 6 sacks, 4 turnovers, like 11 tackle for loss. You have to applaud them for that. And you held Kentucky to 13 points. So, I think SC's defense will keep LSU in check, but LSU's defense will prevent SC's weak offense from doing anything. That could be possible, man. Yeah, that will be a test going up against the LSU defense. That will definitely be a test. Now, the good news is we got a bye week coming up. I'm really hoping we can use that bye week to kind of fix some of our issues and do some real talking because, look, South Carolina dominated tonight, and it's great. It's awesome to celebrate that. But, you can't, just because you dominated Kentucky does not mean you can overlook some of the issues, man. That's insane. You can't just say, hey, well, we dominated Kentucky, so we're good. We don't have any more issues. No, there are still some things to clear up. We saw some improvement tonight for sure. And again, that's awesome. But I'm hoping we can use the bye week to address some of our concerns. Let's see here. I think tonight was the most points we've scored on offense all season, 21, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the most we scored on offense this year, I think, was 20 points. Yeah, and that was against Missouri. So we did score more offense, some points tonight. You're right. You are right, Bird. You are right. See, I think the LSU game is going to be a low-scoring game. Yeah, me too. Me too. You're kind of around where I'm at, with that one. By this point, hold on. By this point, you have heard of Mike Gundy getting fired from Oklahoma State. I'm a man. I'm fired. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Oklahoma is my second favorite team for personal reasons. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Don't get freaked out when I say that. When those two teams meet, it will always be Go Gamecocks. So don't worry. And, I love to make fun of Oklahoma State. I really do. I love to do it. You probably won't meet a bigger Oklahoma State hater than me. I'm just going to be honest. I will say this, though. Mike Gundy is a good coach. He's a good coach. He did some nice things over there for the Pokes. I mean, he did. I'm wondering what's going to happen with Mike Gundy. I truly am. Part of me thinks he's going to get another job really soon because he is a good coach. But, Oklahoma State, I mean, look, I've been watching OU football since like 2013. If Oklahoma State, even though Oklahoma's dominated them, there have been quite a bit of times where they would make you sweat it, man. I mean, there would be games where the Big 12 title came down to Bedlam. So, Mike Gundy did some nice things for Oklahoma State. I mean, he took them to some Fiesta Bowls. He even took them to a few Big 12 championship games. I think he even won it back in 2011. So, he's a good coach. He is a good coach. So much respect to Mike Gundy and everything. And I hope wherever he goes out, I hope wherever he goes next, he finds a lot of success. Unless he goes to Clemson, then. What's up, Wolverine? I have no idea how he won. Man, I hurt for Mississippi State fans, man, because that was a very close game. I actually thought Mississippi State was going to pull it out for a second there, but those turnovers, they killed them, man. They shot themselves in the foot with penalties, and they had some defensive. They just had some turnovers that really killed them, man. They did a lot of things to shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah, Mississippi State I still think is a good team, but Tennessee I think is more talented, and I think you saw why. I'll be honest, Lucas, you remember I told you I felt like this was going to be an upset potential game, and it almost happened. You almost went down. Georgia Tech almost went down too against Wake Forest. I mean, I think, look, respect to Georgia Tech, with respect to Rec Talk and Sea Dog, but man, Wake Forest got hosed, man. You just got to call it for what it is. I mean, they got hosed. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm dealing with some allergies right now, so I'm trying to clear my throat and everything. But our defense is the reason we won today. Yeah, you definitely owe it to your defense there. Even though they were getting pretty burned there, man. Not gonna lie, they were getting pretty burned. But big win for South Carolina. We needed that. Say what you want about Kentucky, but this was one that we really needed. And I'm glad South Carolina fans have a reason to celebrate tonight because we deserve it. We absolutely deserve it. And I'm hoping that we can get some more things fixed over the bye week and we can come out and maybe shock some people in October. Maybe we can shock some people. Maybe we can do something. We'll see. Again, offense not perfect. Still got to get some things figured out. But man, I'll take this. And your defense, shout out to them, man, because they balled out tonight. And South Carolina dominates Kentucky and Mark Stoops yet again. Yet again. Another butt whooping at the hands of the Gamecocks for the Kentucky Kittens. Guys, what's that? What's that? Guys, I just got an alert. There was a kitten killed in Williams-Brice Stadium tonight. Holy crap, there was a cat that was killed at Willie B. Medics say it was chicken scratched. Dang, man. What a shame. What a shame. Kentucky got murdered by South Carolina. They just did. That's a 22-point win, by the way. That's 2 years in a row we beat them by over 20 points. Kentucky is the new Vandy at this point. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Kentucky had a few years where they, had some really nice years. But historically, Kentucky's always been at the bottom of the SEC, y'all. I mean, they've had a few years where they come up and win 8 games or even 10 games or something. But historically, I mean, they've always been kind of a bottom feeder historically. And look, I can't say much because historically South Carolina has too. So I can't talk much trash in that regard, but I mean, Kentucky. Sellers has less than 20 pass attempts in 3 games so far this season. Is that concerning, or am I just overthinking? I mean, yeah, in a way, I do think that is a little concerning, but again, man, he ain't got really much of an offensive line to protect him either. I mean, truly, so it's kind of hard to really do that. But yeah, I agree with what Russ said right there. We'd see a lot more out of him if Sean was the offensive line coach, because in my opinion, and I'm not saying everything's perfect, but the biggest issue with this offense, in my opinion, y'all, well, I don't even think it's an opinion at this point. It's just facts. If you've been watching the games, it's that damn offensive line, bro. And again, hey, Sellers made some plays for the passing game tonight. He made some plays. This offense made some plays. They had some nice runs. They had some nice passes. But, the line still has to get some things worked out. And that's it's okay to say that, by the way, y'all. It's not negative to say that. It's just, if you can fix that, man, if you can fix that, then your offense will look a lot better, man, in my opinion. But how y'all feeling tonight, Gamecock Nation? How y'all feeling tonight? Because y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve it. It's been a rough couple weeks. And I'm glad that we can sit here tonight and celebrate. I'm glad that we can sit here tonight and celebrate. It's 1:02 a.m. Holy crap. I got to get out of here and get my butt to bed pretty soon. But I'm glad that we can all come together and celebrate this, and we can sit here and point and laugh at Kentucky too, because boy, does Kentucky freaking suck, man. Boy, do they freaking suck. Oh boy. What's up, Tiger Raven? How you doing today, buddy? Georgia yet again can't beat Alabama. So who's the head coach? No, who was the head coach of the Crimson Tide? But yeah, Georgia, that Alabama curse runs deep, man. It ran before Kirby. And I'm going to be honest, I think it's going to run before. I mean, I think it's going to run after Kirby, too. It don't even matter who their head coach is, man. I don't know if it's a mental thing or something, but every single time, that Georgia plays Alabama, it just feels like they get out-schemed and out-coached. Every time. Every time. Bama's better coached. They're better prepared. It feels like it's a mental thing to me. But who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, we got some opportunities after this bye week, and I'm hoping South Carolina can pull off some wins and some upsets in this brutal stretch. And I'll be honest with you guys, I do think I think they do. I think we pull a couple upsets. I think we win a couple games that no one thinks we're going to win. And even if we had lost this game, I still would say I think Carolina gets one, but I'm glad we won this game because now, again, you give yourself some momentum heading into the bye week, and you have time to prepare for your next opponent, which is going to be tough. LSU is going to be tough, but you and I both know South Carolina wants that game bad because South Carolina still feels like they got screwed out of that win last year. So, South Carolina is going to be coming into Baton Rouge with a chip on their shoulder. Most definitely. So can South Carolina pull off a big one on the road? We will see. But gentlemen and ladies, it's been a great stream. But before we get out of here, I do want to make an announcement. I do want to say one thing before I get off stream. I will be having some things coming up in my life that will make me a little bit more busy than I am right now. So with that being said, I made a post earlier yesterday saying that I probably wouldn't be making videos for a while because of that. Today, I was able to work something out to where I can still make videos. So I'll still be making content for you guys. And if you like Gamecock commentary, if you like, U Tree or Matt Be Great, those kind of commentary styles, I got videos. I make videos like that now. Not to copy anybody, but I like the commentary game. So I do that. I do that kind of stuff now. There's commentary style videos. And I got a new series that I released last week called Gamecock Insanity. That will be coming out either probably on Tuesday or Wednesday because there's not really going to be much to do. It's going to be raining hard on Tuesday because of that darn tropical system coming through. So I'll have some videos coming up. SEC teams will be coming up per usual. I'll still be making some videos, but it might not be as often as before if it makes sense. But I'll still, every single game, I'll be here. I'll show up and I'll talk about whether we won or we lost. But with that being said, I am going to go ahead and get out of here for tonight, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Go Gamecocks, baby. We own Kentucky yet again. But in all seriousness, good game to the Kentucky fans. I know it's rough for y'all right now, but man, we needed that one. Go Gamecocks. You all have a wonderful night and a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will talk to y'all later. Go Gamecocks.